This morning, we're blessed to hear from Reverend Dr. Theo Williams, Associate Professor of Communications at Bethel, where he has taught for 2 decades. He has a master's degree in urban ministry from Gordon Conwell Theological Seminary and his PhD in communication from Regent University. He and his wife, Nicole, have been married for 22 years and have ministered together locally, nationally, and overseas. He is currently serving as the pastor at Covenant Community Church in South Bend. Theo has a heart and passion for young people, marriages, racial reconciliation, and social justice. Would you please welcome to the Bethel University stage, Dr. Theo Williams.
Good morning, good morning. I'm here to let us all know that we all have abilities. We all have abilities. In fact, our abilities often afford us the opportunity to excel in life. For example, I'd like to thank Brother Holgren for inviting me to speak to you all this morning. He could have called a lot of people. He could have texted some other people, but he texted me. And I like to think that he did so based on some abilities that I demonstrated in the past. Maybe it was my ability to craft the right story. Because of who I am and what I've been through here at Bethel, to craft that story that can connect with the students. Or maybe it's my sense of humor and my ability to tell that right joke just to warm up the crowd. Or it could be that unique ability to keep it all the way real, to tell it like it is. But regardless of those abilities, which are very important, all those abilities focus on doing well. The ability to do something well. And that's important. That's a part of our stewardship. We need to do things well. But I also want to shift our focus this morning and for the rest of the semester, not just to simply focus on doing well, but also the abilities that allow us to be well. Not just the ability to do, but the abilities to be. So I'm going to talk about 3 abilities this morning that we should focus on. The first ability is availability. Availability. And I'm going to have a very simple definition for availability, and that's being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. Are you available? And this goes out to the students, to the faculty, to the staff, to the administrators. Are we available? When someone looks for us, can we be found? If we have office hours or if we have a class on our schedule that says we're supposed to be a certain place at 12 noon, are we where we're supposed to be at 12 noon? Can we be available? Because it doesn't matter what giftings we have. All the stories that I can tell, that's great. All the jokes I can tell, that's great. All the keeping it real I can do, that's great. But what does it matter to have those abilities if I'm not where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be there? Can we be available? The second ability, accessibility. Accessibility, very simple definition. If availability was can you be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, accessibility builds upon that. Can you be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there without any barriers or restrictions? In other words, someone may know where you're at. You may see me in the cafeteria. You may see me in the gym. You may stop by and find me available in my office, but if every time you see me, if I don't have any time for you, or you see me walking on campus and I've just left my office, so technically I'm done with work, you see me, so I am available, yet not accessible because there's restrictions. You should have saw me 5 minutes ago. You should have saw me when I was in a better mood. Yes, I am in the DC sitting by myself, but I'd rather be by myself. Now is not the time to have the conversation. It's one thing to be available, being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, but it's another thing to be accessible. Can we say that our presence, that's that availability, we are present, but we're also accessible, we're open? Has anyone ever been in a relationship where you're sitting right next to someone, they are present, yet they're not there? You know what I'm talking about? If you don't know that person, you are that person. Sometimes we can be in the same room, yet be so far away because of all the things that we have going on in our minds, all the things that we have to do, all the stuff called life can sometimes render us available, aka present, yet not accessible. I'm here to challenge us this morning to first be available, be where we're supposed to be when we're supposed to be there, but also be accessible. Be there, be open without restrictions and barriers. The last ability I want to talk about this morning is responsibility. Responsibility. Most definitions that deal with responsibilities have something to do with making sure that you do the duties you are required to do. You have a duty. You have an obligation. You have a contract that says, here's what you do. You have a scholarship that says, here's what you do. You have a class schedule that says, here's what you do. You must be responsible for doing those duties, and that's important. But I also want to put forth a very simplified definition that I heard from one of my former pastors, and I love it being a wordsmith, the wordplay. He simply said that responsibility is our ability to respond. I think that's pretty simple yet profound. Our responsibility is our ability to respond. That means your response is not based upon obligation. It's not based upon duty. We can't simply say, hey, I'm not on the schedule today. Hey, that's not a part of my job description. Hey, my office hours say this to this, and now it's this time, I'm no longer on the clock. Having the ability to respond means beyond our job description, beyond our schedule, beyond our contract. If we have within us the capacity to meet this need, we do so not because we're obligated to do, because we can be that thing. So I think about Brother Holcren, the way I started, sends me a text. I think the text was on Friday. So Friday as in a few days ago Friday. What you doing on Monday? The speaker snowed in. Do you want to speak? And without hesitation, I text back yes. And the reason why I did it without hesitation, because if I would have took the time to think about it, I would have thought myself out of it. Remembering a inside joke that he and I have. I spoke in chapel a few years ago. It might have been 3 years ago, in fact. I think it was this same chapel, the first chapel after Thanksgiving. And it was empty in here. And it's all about perspective, because it wasn't as empty that day as it is today. Today is empty. But you're here, so it's full. All right? Whoever needs to be here is here. Stewardship, availability, accessibility, responsibility. You're practicing that right now. So I told him, anytime you need me to speak, I'm there. My only request, though, never put me on the schedule the first Monday after Thanksgiving. He had one job, y'all. He had one responsibility. Don't put me on the schedule. And he didn't initially. But there was something in him that said, who can I text? I know, let me text Theo. And maybe he did it because of my ability to tell those stories, my ability to tell those jokes, or my ability to keep it real. Or maybe he did it because he knew that I would be available, accessible, and responsible to respond in the right manner. So my challenge to us all this morning is simple. Raise your hand if you have a lot of stuff to do these next 2 weeks. Woo, we got a lot of stuff to do, y'all. And stewardship requires that we do those things well. Do whatever you have to do and do it well. But in all our doing, may we also be reminded to be. Which means you may be in the midst of studying and you have to study, and please do study. But you may have a roommate who's going through a hard time. Can you pause the studying for 10, 15 minutes and be present? Be available. Be accessible. Respond, not because you have to, because you have the ability to be that. We got a lot of grading to do, and it's going to be there. But every now and then we may have a situation that comes up that requires us to not do, but to simply be. So my challenge is simple. Let's marry the abilities that we have that allow us to do with the abilities that we have that allow us to be, and let us do so to the glory of God and for the good of others. Amen.